All right, here we go, Muscles and Magic the Gathering live. I am Bobby Maximus. I am the Muscles, and I have a beautiful setup waiting in store for you today. One of my favorite things to do is deck tech. I love improving my decks. I've held off for a minute while I've just collected a wealth of cards. I call them reinforcements, but we're going to go through a few of my decks and upgrade them. Primarily, we are going to upgrade my Angel deck with this beauty that I just got. Not the first moat I've owned. I have a funny story about that. I will tell you if you stay tuned. But this card right here, the moat, non-flying creatures cannot attack. It's mono white. You know what deck it's going into already. So we are going to upgrade that deck. We are probably going to upgrade my treasure deck. We might work on my Sephiroth deck from Final Fantasy, a new deck that I'm building. I'm going to add this Steel Overseer to the best deck of all time, my blingy Urza, Lord High Artificer deck. So we are going to have a lot of fun here. Pardon me, my mind's going a mile a minute because I'm so excited to do this. And this is honestly what I do in my spare time. You know, it's funny, people know me from the fitness world, and they think all I do is work out, do jiu-jitsu. I fought in the UFC and, things like that. But in my spare time, when I'm enjoying myself, this is where I am. I am at my desk doing deck tech. I am improving my decks. I am opening packages. I am doing everything Magic the Gathering. So stay tuned for these live deck techs. Maybe I'll do a couple of pack openings. I actually have a box here. Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Just got this from Realm Box, so I want to open this up. I also am really, and I'm going to need some convincing to do this, I really want to open up this Final Fantasy box. You have no idea how bad I've been hanging on to it. So we'll open up some of these, maybe one of them, maybe both of them, who knows. And we will talk all things Commander. So I thought I would let you inside my world on a Sunday night. Usually I'm by myself. This is not my normal time to go live, but I wanted to interact with you and share this experience with you. So I've got all my deck boxes here. I'm going to have to get up and down, but these are my deck boxes. I've got like 8 of these. I've got 57 total Commander decks right now. The goal is 100, so I'm going to go through these box by box, and I am going to see what I can improve, what I can add to, etc., etc. There's going to be a lot of good cards, and this is how I showcase my collection. In the meantime, if you have anything you want to talk about, you want to talk about Spider-Man, Universes Beyond, you want to talk about Avatar, a lot of the spoilers have been released. Really excited about those. And if you have other questions for me regarding Commander, I'm happy to talk about it. I'm also happy to go over your decks on Moxfield and give you some advice. I've done that with people in the past. So it's just going to be a fun night. Nothing really planned except this deck tech. Just thought I would go live and get to interact with like-minded people from all over the world. Like-minded people like you, like me, people that I care about. So we are going to start with, let me see, my As Above, So Below deck. This is Rick Grimes. Love Rick Grimes. And love this card. Let me see here. All right, so we have Rick, Steadfast Leader. As Rick enters the battlefield, choose 2 abilities from among First Strike, Vigilance, and Lifelink. Humans you control have each of the chosen abilities. As long as you control 4 or more humans you control get +2/+2. So this is my official humans deck. It's called As Above, So Below. If you know the reference to that, you will win bonus points with me. And I was actually going to put Elspeth Stormslayer in the deck, but it appears I already have one. So there is only one card I want to add. Now, I'm not adding the moat to that deck. Come on in, buddy. What's going on? I got my man Jax here. Come on over, fella. I'm just doing some live deck tech. What are you up to?
I want to watch Stranger Things with you.
Okay, we will watch Stranger Things. Give me 30 minutes to do this, and then I'll go up and we'll watch it, okay?
Okay.
Can you guys do me a favor?
What?
Can you kind of get ready for bed, and then we'll do a Stranger Things night?
Yeah.
Is that a deal? All right, Stranger Things, here it is. So we do have a time cap on the live. But back to the live, we have established I already have an Elspeth Stormslayer in the Rick deck. Now, The other one that I wanted to add was these two right here. Cloud Midgar Mercenary. I'm going to need that one. That is a beautiful human card. Although maybe I should put that in my equipment deck. I'm not 100% sure yet. But we are going to add this Ranger Captain of Eos and a beautiful printing of that card. So I've got one in here already. I'm going to look for it and I'll take it out. But I'll show you the cards I have. The War Room, Elish Norn, Fairies Protection. This is one of my favorite decks. It's a really good deck, by the way. That cloud would look good in here, I'll tell you that. But I think it needs to go in my equipment deck. Jeweled Lotus. All right, let's see. And this is just how I spend my time looking through cards. Oh, the Ranger Captain of Eos. And we're going to replace that with the Final Fantasy version. So let me see. The deck right now is currently worth $1,822.19. So we're going to switch the printing. Oh, this Final Fantasy Through the Ages. Now, Moxfield, one of the limitations on this website is you cannot put the Japanese version in. They don't have it listed, but I'm going to take that one out. I'm going to put this one in. It is a foil version 1, and now this deck is worth $1,904. So there we go. This deck is getting the upgrades that it deserves. I wonder if there's any more white cards that I wanted to include in here. Secret Rendezvous is a great card. Yeah, that cloud is looking good. I just don't know if I can put it in because I do want to use it for my other deck. I have a bunch of equipment cards here that I am going to put in my equipment deck, and that one deserves to get blinged out. Do I have a Herald's Horn in my human deck? There's a question for you. And I do, and I think I am going to switch it out for the Final Fantasy card. I do this from time to time. I like to increase the value of my decks. The Herald's Horn I have is worth about the same amount, so we're not going to do that. And yes, I am concerned about the dollar value of my deck. It is how I collect. So, all right, we don't need Aerith Gainsborough. Ooh, although that's a really good human cleric, actually. Oh, that's a tough one because I am going to gain life in this deck with lifelink. It does allow me to put counters on legendary creatures. This is actually a really good card. I should actually add this. Let me see here. It is a human tribal deck. Let me see what Aerith is worth. Aerith Gainsborough. All right. And this version is worth, $12. Yeah, I want to add it. And what am I going to take out? That is the real question. Champion of the Parish, the Guide of Souls. Hanwar Militia Captain. I think I'm going to take out the Guide of Souls. Seems about right. Right, so we'll take out the Guide of Souls for Aerith Gainsborough. Sorry, Guide of Souls, you did not make the cut. It's a great card, but I like Aerith better. So we're going to remove that. And we have this beautiful Aerith Gainsborough. I wish I had a foil version of this, but I do not, so this will have to suffice. And there we go. As above, so below is upgraded in real time. Beautiful. All right. I think I have decided officially that I'm going to use Cloud for my other deck. Ooh, Knights of the Round. Beautiful card. I think this is a great card. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't fit the humans theme. So we are going to leave that away for now. What else do we have? 20 ways to win. All right. We are going to add this. We're going to look at it. Now, this is an enchantment deck. The commander is Go Shintai of Life's Origin. And by the way, chime in with comments if you have any suggestions. I would love to hear them. Now, this was the 20 Ways to Win deck from Wizards that they put out. I reworked it, obviously. and added a ton of enchantments to it. So there is an enchantment card I do want to add to this, because we did add all the shrines or all kinds of legendary enchantments in here. So we are going to add, and let me see if I can find it here for you, because you know from Final Fantasy it's a great card. Let's see. There we go, Yuna. All right. And it is Yuna the Grand Summoner. I got to get this out here. Wrong deck. All right. Grand Summoner, there we go. No, that is not the one I want to put in. All right. Let's see if I can find it here. Not Terra the Herald of Hope, not Titus. You know, I might have put it away. You'll know it when you see it. Huh. All right. Oops, we just had a little bit of a spill. It's okay, it happens. The pleasures of live TV. How many else spill your cards? All right, let me pick these up here. I don't think I left this one out, although I should have. So here's just some extra cards I have. Stasis. Let's see what else we got. I am in complete disarray. I apologize for this. We will get it together, I promise. But we are actually looking for, it's a Surge Foil Final Fantasy card that works with enchantments. Let's see if you know what it is. Ooh, Oppression. Nice card. Tellurian Academy. Recruiter of the Guard. And this is my de facto enchantment deck. So it kind of needs this card. I was actually going to trade this in for something else, but I think I'm actually going to keep it given the value of these Final Fantasy cards. It is a Surge Foil. There's some Nazgul. Nope, none of these. All right. And now, pardon me, I'm going to have to pick up some of these cards. All right, let's see what dropped on the ground. You're probably laughing at home if you're watching this. All right. Let's see. It's not Aerith. We already had one of those. All right. None of these, although the Prismatic Ending's a really, really cool card. I actually might put that out there because I might use that. Let's see what we got here. We already decided it was not in here, correct? That is correct. I hope I didn't lose this card, by the way. If I did, that would be tremendously sad. It's got to be around here somewhere. All right, let's take a look here. Ooh, look at that beautiful Surge Foil. I am not seeing it. You'll know it when you see it, though. Nope. All right. All right, by the way, how's everyone doing tonight? Just wanted to check in with all my people. All right, it's got to be on this table. I don't know what pile I put it in, but it has to be in here somewhere, so we will look for it together. All right, let's see. Ah, here it is. It was Una, the Hope of Spire, and it was worth it for that weight. Got a few more cards down here. Gotta get them picked up. Hopefully none of these were damaged. Okay, it's a clean floor, nothing on it, which is good. All right, there we are. We are back. We had a little mishap with the cards, but that's okay. By the way, look at this beautiful Torgal. That is going in my Yoshimaru deck. All right, so we are back. I want, in my 20 ways to win, I want Una, the Hope of Spira. This is a beautiful Surge foil version of this, and this has to go in here. Why? Because this deck has 24 enchantments in it. During your turn, Una and enchantment creatures you control have trample, lifelink, and ward. At the beginning of your end step, return up to one target enchantment card from the battle graveyard to the battlefield with finality counter on it. So I want to put this in my enchantment deck. It's currently worth $516, not a ton, but we can really up the value with this. Let's find how much. Una, the Hope of Spirits, a $15 card for the normal one. Let's see what this one is worth. Oh, huge. $342 pushes this deck to $858. So you know that is absolutely going in. The question is, what are we going to take out? We do need to take out a... Oh yeah, I added the Grand Summoner. We got to take that out. So we got to take out maybe Manjara the Diplomat. Maybe Nicol Bolas the Dragon God. Yeah, I think that one we can, although it is a 20 ways to win deck, and that does make it 21 ways to win. See, this is tricky because this is 20 ways to win. I don't want to take out anything that takes out one of the win conditions. Oh man, this is going to be tough. There's a Chromatic Lantern in here. There's a Maskwood Nexus. Whoa. All right. This is really, really tricky, I got to tell you, because this deck, I do not want to, again, change out the 20 ways to win, but I actually have what I want to take out right now. This is not one of my best decks. I do not necessarily need all the tutors in it, although the tutors do help me win. What should I take out? Do we have enough mana ramp? The total mana value of the deck is 211. We have a lot of lands. Ooh, okay, I don't want to tinker this too much. Nah, Torian Mauler, I need that. That's one of the win conditions. The Forgotten Ancient, no, do not want to take that out. The Fabro Elder, do not want to take that out. That's a great mana ramp card. Seedborn Muse, do not want to take that one out. Approach of the Second Sun, that's a win condition. Do not want to take that out. Blasphemous Act. Blasphemous Act could probably go. Even though it kills a bunch of creatures off, it's a massive mana cost. We could get rid of that for Una, the Hope of Spira. Let's do that. I'm okay with that. I think Blasphemous Act is kind of overrated anyway. And it does not help with one of the win conditions. So let's look for Blasphemous Act. And here we are. Here are actually the win conditions here. We're just going to make sure. Nope. Guys, help me out. Blasphemous Act or Nicol Bolas, what are we going to take out? I think Blasphemous Act. It's a bigger casting cost. Let's get rid of it. All right, let's take it out. remove. And Una, the Hope of Spirit. And one of the things I like to do with deck tech, I wanted to talk to you guys about this for a second, is I'm really big on the mana value of the deck. So the total mana value of this deck is now 202. I like it to be under 200. Now that's an arbitrary number, but it does generally mean your deck is going to move fast and furious. If you look at my fastest moving decks, you're looking at like a Goblin deck. You are looking at my Humans deck. They've got a really, really low mana value. The mana value at 211 for this was a little bit high. This gets it down to 202, which makes it a lot more palatable. This Nicol Bolas, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's also would be palatable to get rid of that, although it does add to, it makes it not just 20 ways to win, it makes it 21 ways to win. So I kind of don't really want to take that out, but that unit is a massive addition to this deck. What could I... Ooh, Cyclonic Rift is always useful. That is probably... Dam is a great card too, and those are probably better cards than that Nicol Bolas. I put that Nicol Bolas in there again as an extra way to win, but it is not one of the original 20 ways to win that this deck had in mind. Just going to make sure and double check that. Yep, it added one, does not add in the ways to win. So let's actually, now that we are here, let's get rid of the Nicol Bolas Dragon God. It's a great card, but Planeswalkers aren't the most competitive anymore in Commander. And because I already have a Game Changer in here in the Seedborn Muse, I'm kind of forced to be... Yeah, this is a bracket 3 regardless of whether I want it to be or not. So let's add that Cyclonic Rift, and let's just go all the way here. All right, let me find this Nicol Bolas Dragon God. There we go. Let's take that off. Boom. Nicol Bolas Dragon God, you are the weakest link. You did not make the cut. And by the way, come say hi. I see a lot of you lurking here as viewers. I'd love for you to say hi. Let's add Hope's Arrow Magic. It's also going to be worth a lot more than the Dragon God. $29. All right, and we have the foil version of it. Worth the same amount, but now the deck is worth $874. So we are upgrading the deck. Just constant upgrades. This is how I display my collection. Oh, there is a Chromatic Lantern in here. Is this Final Fantasy one worth more? Oh, it is. It's worth a lot more. Okay. We're going to change the printing on that. See that? We're already up to $892. Let me get this Chromatic Lantern. Here we go. We are going to change that out for the Crystal of the Altar Cave. Whoo, beautiful. There we go. Look at that. Beauty. All right, this deck is getting all the upgrades that it needs. Secret Rendezvous, that's a great card. What else could we put in here? Is there anything we want to put in here? We do not have a counterspell in here, but we need all the cards like Sphinx Revelation, Path to Exile, Hope's Arrow Magic. Okay. All right. There we go. All right, that is enough upgrades to that deck. It's now gone up to $892. We added that Hope card. So there we go. All right. What else do we have here? Actually, is there a Farseek in this deck? There is not. And I was able to keep my Diabolic Intent intact. I actually do want that Diabolic Intent because I do need it for my Sephiroth deck. Silence, Lightning Bolt, Dam, all great cards. I don't really want to take Diabolic Intent out of here, especially because I can buy another one for like under $10. So I'll probably just put that on my wish list. I need another one for my Sephiroth deck. Sometimes I'll shuffle stuff around. But we are good. All will be one. That's my Atraxa deck. I do have an extra Praetor's Voice. Let's see if I can put that in. All will be one. I do not have a Praetor's Voice in this deck. Oh, it kind of needs to go in, doesn't it? Especially because it is the Praetor. All right, let's see here. If I can find it. It's one of the Japanese ones here. Nope, 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 nope. Ooh, I actually might have already wanted to use this for my Sephiroth deck that I'm building. There it is. I'm going to just take this guy right out of here. We are going to add that to the deck. All right. Question is, what are we going to take out? What do we need from here? We have 37 lands, which is more than enough, although it is a 4-color deck, so we could use a little more lands. Lands are usually the first thing to get cut, although I do not like to do that all the time. This will be the last deck we update tonight, too. Here we go. I think we're going to take out Toxic Deluge. I love it, but I think the Praetor's Grasp can be 1-to-1. It doesn't affect the mana value of the deck Pest Control. What a beautiful card that is, by the way. Ooh, Vampiric Tutor. We have an Insatiable Avarice. We have a Demonic Tutor. Oh, I could probably take out the Insatiable Avarice. That would actually work really, really well. And I could use that in another deck. The mana value is 190. Let's go ahead and add the Praetor's Grasp first. Unseat the Usurper is what it's called, and we have the foil version of it. And we have the foil Japanese version, although it will... Oh! It allows me to put it in here. This is beautiful. Okay. It doesn't have a value associated with it, but that's okay. And I think we're going to take out the Insatiable Avarice. Actually, maybe let's take out the Toxic Deluge. What do you guys think? Insatiable Avarice or Toxic Deluge? We do have a comment. Opinion on using proxies in a deck. All right, Tony Damnation, you're going to get me in trouble. Actually, you're not going to get me in trouble. Let's talk about this. I'm going to take out this Toxic Deluge. Actually, we'll take out the Insatiable Avarice because I can actually use that in another deck. All right, let's talk about proxies. All right, I don't use proxies. Don't like them because it takes away some of my enjoyment to collect. I have 57 total commander decks right now. My goal is to get to 100, and it does make me really, really happy to be able to go get a new card to my deck. Like being able to do this, it creates so much joy for me, all right? Being able to put cards in a deck. So, for me, if I was to just print a bunch of stuff out with proxies, it would take a lot of that joy away from me, to be really, really honest with you. Because I would just go print everything I needed out on a computer, put it in my deck, and then I wouldn't get the joy of like being able to, you know, save up and afford that, or pull that from a pack, or be able to get one of these from Magicon and be able to put it in my deck. So being able to just print out all the proxies I want would take away the enjoyment for me of being able to do that. There was a time in my life where I couldn't afford any cards, and so it means a lot to me to have money to go to the card shop to get the real card, to put it in my deck. So that's why I don't use proxies, right? But I do understand that there is a financial aspect to this game. Like if you can afford all the best cards, you can build a much better deck. Like I'm trying to build a Sephiroth deck right now, and I'll show you what I have so far. But okay, we got Sephiroth knocked off the list. Toxic Deluge, that's that temporal extra turn card. Gristlebrand, Drivnod, Black Market Connections, Grave Pact, Soul Ring, Lightning Greaves, Grief, City of Shadows, Recurring Nightmare, Yawgmoth's Bargain, Gate to Phyrexia, Sir Conrad the Grim, Deadly Dispute, Blasphemous Edict. Might as well put an Insatiable Avarice in there. But it would be really, really easy to just build this deck if I could take some proxies. I could go get a Demonic Tutor. I could get a Vampiric Tutor. I can get an Imperial Seal. Like, basically, I could just make the perfect deck from scratch. But being able to do that and print those out right away would actually take a lot of the enjoyment away from me. Like, I like that I'm not going to be able to finish this right away, that I'm going to have to save up, that I'm going to have to trade, that I'm going to have to work for it. I'm going to have to earn it a little bit. So that is where I don't use proxies. But again, there is a financial component because some of those cards are expensive. Like not everyone can afford a moat, for example. So should that disqualify you from playing the game? No. So I don't use proxies. That's long-winded. I don't use proxies myself, and that's why my ethos, or I've explained my ethos. But if you want to use proxies, I have no problem with it whatsoever. If that's what you want to play with, there's a playability aspect to this game. There's also a collectability aspect to this game. So if you want to go ahead and play with proxies, I don't have a problem with it at all, and I am not going to judge based on that if that makes sense. So this here is another deck I have. I'm actually going through my first deck box. This is Order of the Assassins. I'm not going to be upgrading this one because this is Assassin's Creed cards only. I need to get, the only way I can really upgrade that is if I get a Assassin's Creed card. All right. This one, though, could be upgraded. This is Ulalek Fused Atrocity. This is called Eldrazi Unleashed. And this is actually a deck I should upgrade because Ultima Origin of Oblivion will work with this rather well. Because I have a bunch of cards that give me in here colorless mana. And this says whenever you tap a land for a colorless mana, you add an additional one. So you know this has to go in the Eldrazi deck. I've got 2 Eldrazi decks. Hopefully I have 2 of these cards. It's a 5 cost. The question is, what do I take out of my Eldrazi deck? The mana value is already 257. It's already really, really high. This is going to be a legendary creature. It's going to put some blight counters on that. I think it fits in this Ulalek deck rather nicely. So let's just see. It's kind of a mana ramp card. Let's see what we can take out. I don't want to take out my Jeweled Lotus. Don't want to take out my Urza's Incubator. Ooh, Omniscience. Really, really good card in this deck. By the way, have you seen the new Avatar card? It's kind of scary, the blue card. How people are going to use it with Expropriate. How they're going to use it with Time Stretch. How they're going to use it with the other cards. Ooh, Cyrus 7 Deaths. I'm not taking this out. The Vampire Hexmage. I'm not taking that out because I do have a Dark Depths in this deck, which is rather exciting. The Endless one I'm not going to take out. A Chromatic Lantern I'm not going to take out. Commander Sphere I'm not going to take out because that's too good in this deck. The Bloom Tender I'm not going to take out. The Birds of Paradise I'm not going to take out. Ooh, this is tough. Thran Dynamo maybe? Yeah, it's kind of a useful card, and it gets me 3 of those mana, which with that card will get me 6. Patchwork Banner, I want to keep that. The Relic of Sauron. The Idol of False Gods, it's really good for Eldrazi. I have 38 lands. I could actually do without a land here. No, I don't. That's going down a bad road. Never remove lands from your deck. One with the Multiverse, not getting rid of that. Not getting rid of any of my talismans. Quicksilver Amulet, do not want to get rid of that because that allows me to cheat out creatures. Forsaken Monument, do not want to get rid of that. Cryptolith Fragment, do not want to get rid of that because it is kind of Eldrazi themed and I really like it, although it's not the greatest card. See, this is where this gets tough. When you gotta cut your friends. And I actually don't know what to do to remove here for the Ultima card. Do not want to get rid of any of my Ujins. I have Ujin, I have Storms, I have Ujin the Ineffable, but it makes all my colorless stuff cheaper to cast. I have a couple of those Eldrazi Angels in here. Like this, if anything, is as much of an Eldrazi theme deck as anything. Snappy Voidcraw, do not want to get rid of that. So in Micah Spawn, do not want to get rid of that. Do not want to get rid of, the Glaring Flesh Raker. Nope, too good. Eldrazi Displacer. No, because I can keep blinking back my big creatures. I don't want to get rid of Braves, Conjurer, Deck. It's a great way to cheat creatures out. Yeah, this is tough. All right, it looks like we are probably going to get rid of the Null Elemental Blast. I mean, it's a great card, but I like Ultima better. Let's do it. I like it. It's great for counter spells, and I don't have really any counter spells in here. And it is colorless. Ugh. Man, I don't know what to do, guys. Ooh. Herald's Horn, I don't want to get rid of that because it acts kind of as a... Ooh. Maybe the Relic of Sauron. It is a cool card, but I think Ultima's better. Yeah, let's get rid of Relic of Sauron. That actually makes more sense. This is an Eldrazi deck. It is not a Lord of the Rings deck, but let's look through this here. Just so you can see some of the cards I have in here. Till we find a beautiful Savannah. This deck's currently worth over $1,000. Really, really nice deck. All right. Let's see. It's probably going to drop a bit. I think the Ultima's not worth much. Some really pretty lands in here. Let's see what else we got. Chromatic Lantern, Thran Dynamo, Timeless Lotus. Ooh, Relic of Sauron. There we go. All right, so let's take that guy out. It's also a casting cost of 4, so I probably don't need it. And I'm basically taking mana ramp per mana ramp. So this is Ultima Origin of Oblivion. It's only worth $1. That's kind of sad. But it's a really good card. Let's see what the art version is worth. $328. That's actually a good trade. All right. And I can use this Relic of Sauron card elsewhere. Okay. So we have the Ultima Origin of Oblivion. All right. We have another question from Tony Domination. What would you say the average cost of a deck you build? Man, that's really, really hard to answer. My Urza deck is worth about $50K, but I do have a Black Lotus in it, and I do have a Time Walk and a bunch of other super, super high-end cards. I show that deck off a lot. And I have other decks that are worth $300. This Order of the Assassins, it's not worth that much. Let me see. This is the Assassin's Creed one. This is worth $379. This is probably my least value deck, to be honest with you. So I don't necessarily just go by value. I do have a lot of high-end decks. Like this card alone is worth about $1,000. So obviously it's going to make my deck complete. In terms of what I like to spend, I don't really have a limit. I just try to showcase my collection as much as possible. And actually, it's good you asked that question because this deck right here, when I've got this, the Order of the Assassins deck, this has to be all Assassin's Creed cards. So if you look and you look at the set symbol here, this is everything from Assassin's Creed. And I opened a bunch of Assassin's Creed because I really loved it. So I put really cool versions of the cards in there. This isn't my best deck by any means. It's kind of just a fun deck to play, but it ended up being worth $300 because I put like a foil version like that in there, which is worth $39. Some of the other big cards from this deck are like Ivor Wolfkiss, that was $12. Edward Kenway was $14. Basim Master Assassin was $20. Excalibur Sword of Eden was $18. So it really, really added up. Now, I would like to get the value of this up though. So if I can trade some cards, for example, and I can get a serialized Socrates or a serialized Cleopatra, I would love to put that in the deck to get that up there. My kind of goal, like my pie in the sky, like ultimate goal, is to have every deck be worth more than $1,000. So right now, that is not the case with some of my decks. Like this one's worth $379. To get it up to $1,000, I'm going to need a serialized or 2 serialized cards, and they can only be from Assassin's Creed for that deck. Obviously, with this is going to go in my Angel deck. My Angel deck is already worth a lot. That's going to bump it up. To put that in perspective, and you can see, by the way, all of my deck lists on Moxfield and Bobby Maximus. If I go to my angel deck. And what is my angel deck called? Do you guys remember? The Angiras Council. That deck currently right now is worth $831. That's going to more than double it by itself. So that's going to go up. So I'm really, really excited to add to that. But I'm just constantly looking to upgrade the value of my decks across the board. And if I can do it, I can do it. But it's not necessarily a spending thing. So for example, another example of a deck I have that's not worth a ton is my Etherflux Eruption deck. It's $395. It's an energy themed deck, and a lot of the energy cards are not that expensive. So I was able to get a lot of the cards for fairly cheap. Like a Dockside Extortionist even now goes for $11. Blightsteel's $32. A lot of these cards are really cheap. Hull Breacher's $1. Guide of Souls is $4. Spelladar Guardian's $5. Razorfield Ripper is 23 cents. Royal Cartographer is 24 cents. So it's going to be really, really hard to get that up. But I would like to, you know, if I can get access to like a Lord of the Rings Soul Ring or a serialized card, or maybe I'm trying to think what else is in here that I could really, really use, or maybe a really cool version of Ragavan Nimble Pilfer. Like if I get a Ragavan from the Final Fantasy set, maybe I'll put that in there and it bumps the value up. So really I don't have a floor and I don't have a ceiling. I'm just trying to make my decks as collectible as possible. But in pie in the sky, as I talk this through, if every deck was worth $1,000, I'd be super, super psyched. Drop the link to my Moxfield. I actually don't because I'm streaming right now. But it is, you can find it in all my show notes. So if you go into one of my old videos, Tony, that I've uploaded, there always is a link to my Moxfield in the show notes. So hopefully that helps. But like you can look at all the cards here to kind of drive this point home. Like this card's worth $50. That's worth $5. I don't know what that's worth, but it's worth a little bit. Really nice Urza Incubator, a Gamble. This Giada could go in my deck. The Sylvan Library can go in my deck. A beautiful version of Expressive Innovation. I'm going to put these in my equipment deck. So basically what I am going to do is I'm going to go through my decks and I am going to upgrade them with a more expensive version. Like this Yuna, I got to find a place for that because that's where the Pretty Penny Undercity Sewers, that's going to go in a deck because it's where the Pretty Penny. So basically that's how I upgrade my decks, if that makes sense. And I'm just trying to make them, for maybe even Lightning Bolt. Like if that Lightning Bolt, the foil one, is worth more than a normal Lightning Bolt, that will make a replacement and I will increase the value of my deck. So basically that's how I do it. But again, I would love to have 57 decks worth $1,000. And not only that, I'd like to have 100 decks worth $1,000 because my eventual goal is 100 commander decks. So the 1,000 commander decks would be cooler than 100 commander decks, but I just try to build the best commander decks possible. Like I said, there's not a dollar value, but they got to make sense and it's got to be collectible. One more point on that. One thing I don't want to do is just go buy like a $40 precon and put it in a box to say I have another commander deck. Like I really put a lot of heart and effort into these. That was the first box of cards I had to upgrade. I did my 20 Ways to Win deck, my As Above, So Below deck, my Army of the Dead deck with Temmin. Let me actually see if there's any cards that I could include in that. That one's only worth $6.92. Oh, here's a good example of how we can do this in real time. All right, one more lesson for you. So let's look at Army of the Dead with Temmin. And I'm going to look through this. These are some zombie tokens. And let's see if I can just upgrade the value. The value is $6.92 right now. So this is kind of actually how I do things, Tony. By the way, thanks for keeping me company tonight. Really appreciate it. So you have Temmin. Great. Endless Ranks of the Dead, Demonic Tutor, Wilhelt, Liliana, Rafine, Verena, Necroduality, Rooftop Storm, right? Path to Exile, Mana Crypt, Lotus Petal, Relentless Dead, Death Baron, Oscar, Mirkwood Bats, Gisa, Ebondeath, Monument to Endurance, Thought Vessel, Coat of Arms, Ancient Brass Dragon, Liliana, Master of Death, The Ancient Tomb, The Dead Marshes, Wasteland. This is already a really, really, really good deck. Deadly Rollick, Rhystic Study, Smothering Tithe, Crypt Collar Chariot, Liliana, Ret2 Mystic, Lost Monarch of Inner Crypt Collar, Grave Titan, Grave Collar, Zombie Master, Forgotten Creation, Cemetery Reaper, Rot Hulk, Scarab God, Lord of the Accursed, Gleaming Overseer, Eternal Skylord, Prophet of the Scarab. So really what I'm looking for here is cards that I know I have that I can upgrade. Arcane Signet, Soul Ring. I actually might have a nicer Soul Ring, so I'll put that out. Damn, I do have a nicer version of Damn, so that will work. Now we're into the lands. A bunch of duels. Ooh. You know what I can actually use? An Undercity Sewer, and especially because this is a graveyard deck. I think we'll take out a swamp. We'll take out an island, and let's see. Okay. So this is, oh, beautiful card. So this is how I do this. Now, let's see what I have here that I can upgrade into this deck. Dr. Clown says, I was just building this guy. No way. Yeah, so you got a good little preview here of this. Knights of Old, any tips for shuffling double-sleeved CMD decks? I don't know, man. I do this like card shuffle type thing where I don't break them in two, and I mean, that's the best I can do. Like the old school, like childlike table shuffle. All right. So let's see what I got here. What I can put in this deck. Undercity Sewers, that's going to go in. We do not have an Undercity Sewers here, and that's a great card. So that's going to increase the value. Right? Don't need any of these weapons because I'm going to use those for something else. Urza's Incubator. Do we have an Urza's Incubator in here? We don't, and it is a zombie deck, so we probably need the Urza's Incubator in here. Do we have a Herald's Horn? We do not. We probably need one because it's a zombie deck. You see how fun this is? A moat. We're not going to put that in. We're just going to put that aside. Memory Jar. Do not need that. Boil. Do not need that. Oh, Mystical Tutor. That would be a good one to throw in here. I do not have a lot of instances of sorceries in this deck, so we'll save that for later. Eldrazi Monument. That could be a great card in this deck to make things fly. Maze of Ith. That could be a great card in this deck. Hedge Maze doesn't fit. Sephiroth is a really, really good card. That could actually go in this deck because we do sacrifice things in this deck. Yeah, we do want a sack outlet in this deck. All right, Sephiroth, there we go. It's a foil version, so we might as well do... Okay, there's Dam. All right. So is there anything else? We got a foil Dam. We have a Guardian Project. That does not fit. We have a Notion Thief. That would fit, and it's a beautiful card, but I don't think we need it in here. All right, there we go. Let's take a look how we do this now. All right, real time. Let's upgrade the value of this deck. Knights of Old, I am actually working on my... where's the commander here? You got to find it. It's a Temet deck. I'm actually just upgrading the value of it right now. Take out a Plains, and then we'll see how we do this, all right? We have a Deadly Rollick. We have a Wasteland. These are a bunch of lands. Okay. So this is my Temet deck. Let's find him. He's now all out of order. Oh, there he is. Should be up soon. Yep, there we go. Temet Nakamanit's Will. All right, so how does this commander work? Vigilance, Menace. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you draw a card, zombies you control get +1/+1 until the end of turn. Great card. So there's a lot of graveyard synergy there. You can put a stuff into your graveyard and then try to get it back. And so there is a lot of graveyard synergy here. And some of the cards are like the Ancient Brass Dragon. You're going to make some zombies. Oh no, you're not going to. You're going to get cards back from your graveyard. The Archfiend of Infear. That's a way to cycle or get stuff into your graveyard. There's a lot of way to get stuff into your graveyard here, so let's try to figure out what we're going to add to the graveyard synergies. The first one, obviously, to upgrade the value, we're going to take out this island. Okay, we're going to get rid of this. And this is one of those ether drifts islands, so that's not going to be worth anything at all. We're going to remove that. That's 16 cents. And we are going to stick in, because we don't have it right now, the Undercity Sewers. So the deck is worth $692. Remember that number, please. So let's put in the Undercity Sewers. And that is worth $20. So now we're up to $712 already. Okay, so we are upgrading the deck. Now we have Damn. And I'm pretty sure the Noctis's Death Magic is going to be worth more. So we're going to switch the printing on that. And it's worth $3.20. Not a massive upgrade, but a little bit of one. So let's do that. Okay. Let's get rid of a Plains. I feel like I have enough of those. Let's get rid of that, and let's put in the Mazavith. All right, and this version is the Dominaria remastered one, foil, $7.11. So we're up from $6.92 to $7.91. So we're upgrading the value of this deck. Then we have a Swamp and a Soul Ring, and I feel like I have enough lands in this deck. I have a bunch of them. I actually really want to add these 3 cards and an Urza's Incubator for the zombies, but I actually don't know what to cut here. Grave Titan is a great card. Massive casting cost, though. Let's get rid of it. I like the Grave Titan, and it does make some of these makes tokens. So here's how I upgrade decks, guys. I look at what the total mana value of the deck is. It's 200 right now. I'm trying to get it lower. Okay. I got a lot of Lilianas because it's a bit of a theme deck, but let's figure out what are some big casting cost cards that I can get rid of to make this deck better. Now, the Archfiend of Ifnir, it's got cycling, and it allows me to put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponents control. It's a really, really good card, but the casting cost is 5, and it is not a zombie. And this does end up being a zombie deck. We have a Rot Hulk, which is a great card, and it allows me to return a bunch of zombies from my graveyard. There's going to be a lot of zombies in my graveyard, so I don't necessarily want to take that out. Let's take out the Archfiend of Ifnir. I really like it for cycling. Getting, but whenever I attack, I can draw a card. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of it. Let's see. Let's get rid of the non-zombies first. So let's look up the Archfiend of Infear. Because there are so many zombies in here, I think that's actually a smart play. All right, so let's get rid of the Archfiend of Infear. It's only $1.18 anyway. All right, and let's put in, I think it's got to be the Urza's Incubator. This is a zombie deck. It is kind of a tribal deck. I do need that in here. Urza's Incubator. All right, great card. Okay, increase the value. This is an art version of it. Yeah, $19, right? So now we're up to $738. So there we go. So that's going to go in the deck. Let's see what else we can take out here. We have 32 creatures. We have a lot of creatures because we're going to be throwing stuff in the graveyard. We don't want to get rid of Gisa. So really what I do here is I try to look for the highest mana value stuff. We're now at 198. The lower the mana value, the quicker this deck is going to work. Oscar Rubbish Reclaimer. Do not want to get rid of that. Really good in this deck. Rafine Seeming Skier. Do not want to get rid of that. The Rot Hulk. Massive casting cost and really good card, but a big big, big casting cost again. I'm not getting rid of the Scarab God. It's too good and it's worth a good amount of money. Smothering Tithe is too good of a card to get rid of. Could get rid of a Talisman. Could get rid of a Monument to Endurance. But whenever I discard a card, I can do a bunch of stuff with this. The Crypt Caller Chariot. Do not want to get rid of that. I could probably get rid of a Commander Sphere, to be honest with you. I do have a Soul Ring. I do have an Arcane Signet. I do have a Talisman of Dominance. I do have a Talisman of Hierarchy. I do have a Thought Vessel. We have 38 lands. We could probably go down to 37. But that's going to affect the mana value. I'm thinking the Rot Hulk could get cut here, especially for Sephiroth. Sephiroth is such a good card. Okay, Knights of Old, mana value of the deck. So you see how Temet, Nakamut's Will, has 2, 3, 4, 5. Sephiroth has 3. That would make the mana value 8. Add another 5, that's 13. Add another 3, that is 16. All right. So the total mana value of the deck is the total amount of the cards added together. All right. And for some reason, my camera shut off here. So let me redo this. Did not work. All right, let me switch this up just to end this live. I'll put it on my... There we go. Not perfect, but it will work. I am back. Okay. So with that mana value on the deck, it's all the symbols of the cards added together. Does that make sense, Knights of Old? Okay, so if your deck is under 200, it's going to move really fast and furious. Like if you're 160, 165, 170, it's going to move real fast. It's just a better way, I think, of looking at a mana curve, if you will. Because if your number is going to be that low, you can't have too many creatures that are a 10-drop or a 9-drop or an 8-drop. So what I do is I look to get that as low as possible. Now, one of my lowest decks and one of my most competitive decks is my Lurgoyf deck, and it's 161, and that thing goes off by turn 3. It's probably my most CEDH-worthy deck. So one thing that I look at doing is when I've got my Mox field up and I'm looking at, getting a deck better, if I've got the Rot Hulk and it's a casting cost of 7, which is a massive casting cost. Yeah, 258 is high. Is this for your Temet deck, Knights of Old? Right? But if I look at this, the Rot Hulk is a 7. That's a massive casting cost for a 97-cent card that doesn't do that much. When this creature enters, return up to X target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of opponents you have. So if I'm playing against one other person, this is useless. If I'm playing against 3 other people, I can return 3 zombie cards from my graveyard to the battlefield. I'm actually selling myself on this. I want to get rid of this. It's not that great of a card. It's all right, but it's just not the greatest card in this deck, especially I have so many other ways to get cards from there. Dragon is, if you look at my Dragon deck, Knights of Old, for 258, if you look at my Dragon deck, it's I think it's 197. Look at it on Moxfield. I got a bunch of lower casting cost dragons in there for that reason, to make sure, because one of the weaknesses to the Dragon is it starts off really slow. So I've talked myself into getting rid of the Rot Hulk. Let's remove it. All right, and I want to stick a bunch of creatures in my graveyard because I got a bunch of graveyard recursion stuff. So why not just add this Sephiroth, right? Like, it's a great card. Let me see. Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier. All right, he will fit nicely in this deck. It is the foil version. That brings it up $42, so now it's worth $720 this deck. So there we go. Another addition to the deck, and it is not a zombie, but I'm okay with that for collectability. There are a ton of zombies in this deck, and there's a ton of stuff that we are sacrificing, so we might as well just add that. Like, why not? We're going to sacrifice a bunch of stuff in this deck. All right, so we got rid of that. We do have the Grave Call. The Grave Titan is massive. Big casting cost creature. Probably do not need it the way this deck works. We're going to draw a bunch of cards, and zombies get +1/+1 until the end of turn. I'd say we get rid of the Grave Titan. And we put in either the Herald's Horn or the Eldrazi Monument. I'm thinking the Herald's Horn because it makes zombies less of a casting cost. Yes, Knights of Old, I aim for below 200. Some decks you cannot do that. Some decks, like, there's no way to do that, but for a lot of my decks, that's what I'm aiming for. And when I say there's no way to do it, I'm thinking like an Eldrazi deck or a gimmicky deck, like a Braids deck. All right, let's look at this. Let's get rid of this Grave Titan. Grave Titan, I think his time has come. It was a really powerful card at one point, but it is just too high of a casting cost for what I want to do. This Ancient Brass Dragon's a massive casting cost too, but it's a really, really good card. So I'm going to leave that in there. And you see, here's the difference between these two cards actually that articulates this. This is a casting cost of 7. This is 6. So they're essentially the same. But the Ancient Brass Dragon is so much of a better card than a Grave Titan. It's not even funny. Knights of Old, it's Bobby Maximus. So we are going to take out the Grave Titan. It's only worth 76 cents. Remove it. And we are going to put in the Herald's Horn. It's going to allow me to draw a card, which is also going to work with my commander. Herald's Horn. All right, let's switch the printing on that. Let's get this. All right. So let's take out the Grave Titan. Like it a lot, but we're going to put in the Herald's Horn. Now, we went from $692 to $784, so we've almost went up 100 in value, which is really, really cool. And we've taken that mana value down from, well, we were at 200 and above. Now we're at 191, so that deck is going to move faster. We got some lower casting cost stuff. Our deck is going to work a little bit better. I suppose I could get rid of one of these Planeswalkers, like Liliana, Waker of the Dead, or Liliana's Death Majesty. But Liliana's Death Majesty is really, really good because it does have an asymmetrical board wipe on it for zombies. So I think we're actually doing pretty good here. An Eldrazi Monument would be a cool card because one of the weaknesses of my decks is they don't have enough flying in them. So this would really, really help. And there's a bunch of zombie tokens to add. Let's actually see if this goes. Because I could probably take out a land for this, like one of these swamps. Eldrazi Monument. Which version of it is this? Zendikar, let's do it. Adds another $7 in the deck. We can take out a swamp. Mana value is still 196, so still an improvement. We are under 200 and happy, yeah. So that's kind of how I upgrade decks. If that makes sense. Knights of Old, any way to up the res on your desk camera, it's too blurry. There we go. How's that look? Is that better? That should help. I think I just had it a bit high. All right, it was just for camera setup. But let's look at some of these cards if you want to see them. We have Temet. We have Noctis's Death Magic. We have a Soul Ring. We have the Smothering Tithe, the Rhystic Study, the Deadly Rollick, Zul Asher, the Lich Lord, Clearwater Pathway, Wasteland, Command Tower, Path of Ancestry, Arcane Sanctum, Ash Barrens, On Wings of Gold, Renewed Solidarity. And that would be an example where we would put an Anointed Procession in instead of this. Swords to Plowshares, Talisman of Hierarchy, Irrigated Farmland, Fetid Pools, Desert of the True, Desert of the Mindful. A lot of deserts in this deck. Unholy Grotto, God Eternal, Oketra, Prophet of the Scarab, Eternal, Skylord, Gleaming Overseer, Lord of the Accursed, the Scarab God, Cemetery Reaper, Liliana Vess, Liliana the Veil, Will Help the Rock Cleaver, Ancient Brass Dragon, Demonic Tutor, Endless Ranks of the Dead, Talisman of Dominance, Commander Sphere, Bontu's Monument, Arcane Signet, Lazatop Chancellor, Wayward Servant. So yeah, this is a really, really cool deck. This is my zombie deck. Knights of the Old, if you Mana Crypt, Path to the Exile. If you go look up some of my old videos, you can find a link to my Moxfield. Take a look at my Dragon deck. I think it'll help you a lot. The Rooftop Storm, Decro Duality, Eldrazi Monument, Herald's Horn added today, Undercity Sewers. The key to this deck right here is Verena Lich Queen. This is a great deck to allow me to discard Rafine, Scheming Seer, same thing. Sephiroth, we added that. That was a big value add today. Why not? The name of my Dragon deck, Knights of the Old, is House of the Dragon, and it's absolutely bonkers. Ancient Tomb, yeah. So we added a lot of cards to this deck. As I look through it, it's still officially a zombie deck, even though we took some zombies out. And I think we made it better today. And the Sephiroth doesn't really fit the theme, but it is a great card, and it does help sacrifice creatures. There are some sack outlets in this deck which help. For example, Liliana of the Veil, target player sacrifices a creature. I could do that myself. Liliana, Waker of the Dead, Binding Mummy, Cemetery Reaper. Ooh. You know, I'm thinking of Sephiroth. Actually, I don't have enough sack outlets in this deck for Sephiroth. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, when Sephiroth enters or attacks, you can sacrifice a creature if you do draw a card. Oh, but you gotta sacrifice this turn, so you need a lot of sack outlets. Okay, Sephiroth's gonna have to get cut, guys. I thought I had more sack outlets than I did, but I do not. So we are actually gonna take Sephiroth out, which is fine. I think we should actually put that swamp back in, unless there's any other good cards to add. Ooh, Silence is good. That's a great card. We added Dam, right? Notion Thief is a great card to add. That's a super usable card. It's actually better than Sephiroth, but... I really... Ooh, do I have a Lord of Nazgul command deck, Knights of Old? No, I do not, but I'm currently building it, so stay tuned. All right, we're going to take out Sephiroth. It's going to knock that value down to 749 again. I get a little ahead of myself. Sometimes I go too much on value. So the question is, do I want to add the Silence or the Notion Thief? Both are great cards. A moat, that would be cool in this, but not enough flying. All right, it's already a bracket 4 optimized, so I might as well add a game changer in the Notion Thief. But the Silence is a great card. Notion Thief is not a. It's just really good. All right, guys, Notion Thief or Silence? What should I add? And no, I don't have a Nazgul deck. If you look at my Lord of the Rings March of Mordor deck, there's going to be some Nazgul in there, though. What's Param's Silence Magic worth? $15. Yeah, that's sold for me, right? Great card. There we go. That adds to the collectability. Moat is so great, especially imagine that in my dragon deck. Oh my gosh, because it's all flying creatures. Wow. That kind of needs to go with the dragon deck. Make the dragon deck even more. But it could go in my angel deck too. All right, there we go with my Temet deck. We are done with that. We are set up. It is super good. I'd like to add a Notion Thief to it because it is such a great card. But the mana value now is down at 194, which is fabulous. And yeah, I'd like to even get lower, but I just don't know what I'm going to take out. Like, I could take out the Ancient Brass Dragon, but I don't really want to do that. So there we go. Live deck upgrades. We're going to put this moat. Knights of Old. Knights of Old, you have an Angel deck. Dr. Clown Notion Thief is a great card. Let's ask the audience. Okay, guys, Knights of Old, Dr. Clown, where would you put the moat card? Should I put it in my mono white angel deck, or should I put it in my dragon deck? My mono white angel deck right now is worth $800. This would push it to about $1,800. If I do it for my dragon deck right now is worth. Let me see. Oh, 5,800. It would bump it to 66. There's like some bling associated with that. So the question is, what should I do? Where should I put it? Before I go, because I got to go play with my kids now, should I put it in my dragon deck or my angel deck? And then I'll decide that in the next couple of days. Dragon deck, there are no moats in heaven for angels. Dr. Clown, I like it. Knights of Old, put it in a Pillow Fort deck. I could actually put it in my Stacks deck too. I have a really cool Stacks deck called the Well of Tears. That would actually be a lot of fun to put that in there too. I have to add that to my Urza deck. So yeah, there are some live upgrades with Bobby Maximus. This is one of the longer lives I have done. Thank you very much for spending some time with me doing this. Really, really enjoyable tonight. And yeah, I upgraded my first deck or my first box of cards. So I'll put these away. And then, yeah, maybe I'll go live again tomorrow night and do the next box. The next box is really cool. I got the March of Mordor, the Legions of Rivendell, the Knights of the Fellowship, the League of Legends, Sacred Tree of the Fairy Realm, Rise of the Shirelings, Temple of the Moon Rabbit. There's actually a really, really cool Titus card I want to put in there. So there we go. Thank you for coming to this live. It's been long enough. It's 8:15. I got to go be a dad now. But love you all. Really, really appreciate your support and the fun we had today. And yeah, stay tuned. Check out the deck lists on Moxfield. And yeah, we will go from there. I will talk to you later. And